Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Hopefully I get this video out in time. I'm actually recording it on New Year's Eve. But today I wanted to go through, and when you think of New Year's Eve, what do you think of New Year's celebrations? Not everybody does it. I know that we kind of bang pots and pans at the house, play a few games, but if you are going out and partying, or if you are staying in at home, here are 10 New Year's celebrations, whether it's on New Year's Eve or just on New Year's Day, you're going to someone's house to eat hot dogs and sauerkraut or pork or whatever it is. Here are 10 great New Year's celebration fragrances for men. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. Happy New Year, happy holidays. Hopefully you guys are doing well. And we're going to be talking about some fragrances, doing some whiffing and sniffing as always. Before we get into it, if you can, and if you're not already, hit the subscribe button. Everybody hit that like on your way in. Comment below. Let me know what you're going to be wearing for your New Year's celebration, whether it's on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever it is. But I wanted to go through and talk about 10 fragrances that would be great for different situations. Again, staying at home, playing cards with your family, banging pots and pans, or going out to a bar and getting trashed and having the night of your life with the special someone or just by yourself. Who the hell cares? But today we're going to be talking about 10. And so the first one, it fits the... I could have put a Paco Rabanne fragrance on here. What is it? Black XS. That kind of has that champagne note. I don't personally like that, so I know someone's going to end up mentioning that. Yeah, not for me. But anyway, Kilian's Apple Brandy on the Rocks. This is unisex fragrance, and it's just like Angel Share is kind of like warm, boozy cinnamon bun drink. This is Apple Brandy on the Rocks. It kind of smells like a Washington apple, if you've ever smelled that, minus the cranberry. It is boozy, apple, sweet, fruity, and then it has a little bit of a zing to it. It's not an everyday wear, but it is a really nice holiday celebration fragrance. If you want something that's makes you feel a little jazzy, that's what this one's going to be. Speaking of that, I could have put Jazz Club in this. Jazzy? Jazz Club would have been good for tonight, but Apple Brandy on the Rocks is exactly what it smells like. It smells like apple and brandy on the rocks. Oh, who would have thought? But that's number one. I'm not going to spend forever on these. You guys are going to have a great holiday because you're not going to be listening to me for 10 hours. Second one, Prada Black. One of the best designer night out fragrances. So if you are going out and you're not sure what to wear, this is always an easy choice to make. It is an amber musky fragrance with a touch of caramel and iris. Very, very nice, but it's mostly built around this amber musky base. I didn't personally love it when I first got it, but it definitely grew on me. Women seem to love it. My wife absolutely adores it. I'm not sure what it is about this fragrance, but it definitely has that wow factor, especially for night outs. This is it. Again, amber musky fragrance with a little bit of a nuanced sweetness underneath there, a little bit of powder. Really, really nice fragrance. That is Prada Black. Prada Luna Rossa Black. Lasts about 7 to 8 hours. This one is a new one as of this year. If you like pink pepper, really a good one, and it's very unique, and it has this DNA, which, I mean, if you like the DNA, you do. If you don't, you don't. It is Zaharov Seraphim Red. Seraphim Blue would also work, but I like the Seraphim Red pink pepper. That brings a little bit of this party atmosphere to it. It smells like Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male Lover if you added a dose of pink pepper and a little bit of that Zaharov feeling to it. That's the way that I get it. If you haven't smelled Le Male Lover, that is a 2024 fragrance, I understand, but it's semi-sweet. It still has that Seraphim Blue DNA where it kind of feels like almost like a slight bit of mintiness, but you mix this together with that beautiful pink pepper, a little bit of a floral background. It is probably the most mass appealing, I would say, all season fragrance outside of maybe Seraphim Blue from the Zaharov Signature line. Zaharov Signature Seraphim Red or Seraphim Red is just, it's kind of like the other side of the coin of Seraphim Blue. That one's more of the minty blue, even though it's more green than anything. It's like a minty green. This one is definitely up that aisle of pretty much in any season fragrance, anytime fragrance. It's sweet. It has a little bit of that class to it. Really, really nice. Seraphim Red. Again, pink pepper centric. Going into the next one. This one's going to be for the younger crowd out there, but you can wear it really at any age. If you want something sweet, aromatic, and fruity, then you're going to go with this. This is Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male. I have a 6.8 ounce and I'll never wear it. But this fragrance, one of the better Jean Paul Gaultiers. Surprisingly, I heard that Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Parfum is becoming big with like middle schoolers, which is not supposed to be what that's for, but it's just what I heard from my nephew. But anyway, Ultra Male is your night out part of it's a modernized version of the Le Male DNA, which I'm not a huge fan of the original Le Male, but the Le Male DNA, if you modernize it, can really be played well with this one. You mix it together with that lavender from the DNA, and then you amp up the pear and vanilla or pear and tonka to give a little bit of this fruity sweetness. And it's very nice. It has a little bit of a richness to the fragrance, but if you've tried Off Non 9 PM or Jeremy Fragrance's Dayton Unisex, you'll know what this smells like. I mean, most people know what Ultra Male smells like. If you don't, it's just a fruity, warm, semi-sweet aromatic fragrance that has a lavender through it. Very, very nice fragrance. Going into the next one. This one is technically a clone, but it smells like its own thing. This is you can find it in literally any Walmart. At least I think you can find it at Walmart still, but it was like 20 bucks. It is supposed to smell like Spice Bomb Extreme, but I actually like it better. It's Cremo, Spice, and Black Vanilla. So, I mean, it does have the vanilla, and it does have the spices that you get from the Spice Bomb Extreme, except for it's not as powdery. And the way that the vanilla comes across is more of almost like a balsamic vanilla than a powdery vanilla. So I really like that. I like the way that it's not as spicy and not as powdery as Spice Bomb Extreme, because the powder is the thing that drives me away from Spice Bomb Extreme. Anyway, Spice and Black Vanilla, if you're looking for something in the realm of Spice Bomb Extreme, just if you don't like the powder, then you could try this one out, and it's cheaper. It is the best from the Cremo line, and again, I think they still sell it at Walmart. If not, you can find it at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, but it's usually like a $20 fragrance. But very, very nice. Great for the holiday. You're going to have that warmth. You're going to have the vanilla. It's great mixture for the holiday for sure. The next one is actually my scent of the day. I just sprayed it on right before this video, and I didn't even realize I was going to be putting it in this video, but why not? One of the best presentations in the game. This is Argos Triumph of Bacchus, the original. Triumph of Bacchus. It smells like if you took a higher quality, less synthetic version of Mancera's Red Tobacco and mix it together with PDM Carlisle, with the spices and stuff like that you get from Carlisle, a little bit of tobacco and stuff. Well, that is what you have with this fragrance, except for in the opening, you get a bit of peach to provide a nice little fruity edge. I really enjoy this fragrance. Of all the Argos fragrances I've tried, this is my favorite. The Triumph of Bacchus will never be beat. I know a lot of people like Fall of Phaeton and Adonis Awakens. I can't do a lot of rose, and a lot of those fragrances have a lot of rose in it, so I like this one. This one does have that in this as well, but it's way in the background. But if you're looking for a nice, sweet, warm tobacco fragrance that has a nice fruity opening, and then again, a spicy, woody tobacco dry down that still has that sweetness built in, Argos Triumph of Bacchus is great, and it lasts about 10 hours. Very, very nice fragrance. Speaking of something that has... I've always liked the presentations of these. They're sleek, very minimalistic. This is Initio Side Effect. Again, we're at the holidays. You need something that's a little bit boozy. Well, Initio Side Effect is just that. It has cinnamon bark, rum, tobacco, saffron, sandalwood, and hedoin. That is why I love these. And the thing is that I didn't really know what hedoin smelled like, but my wife brought home from work in the summer a hedoin plant, and it's like a flower, and I smelled it, and I was like, that's what's in Initio Side Effect. Okay, now I know what hedoin smells like. And so it's really interesting how you get to learn the certain notes. But ingredients, but this is a boozy, spicy fragrance. It has a nice sweetness. It's resinous. It's ambery. Definitely an ambery overtone for the entire fragrance, but it's definitely one of the heavier boozy fragrances. If you don't like booze and fragrances, it is going to leave you smelling like you drank a bottle of Captain Morgan, but you smell good doing it. That's the way that I look at it, because it is that kind of like sweet and spiced rum. And then you mix that together again with the cinnamon to give a little bit more of a spice. The heroin adds a nice, unique floral take to it. And then you have some sweetness and ambery undertones to provide the sweet and richness. It's a very nice fall and winter fragrance. Definitely a great one to wear during a night out. If that's what you're planning on doing. I wouldn't recommend wearing it if you're like sitting at the table with your family though. So yeah, that would be more if you're sitting at the table with your family. I would go with more Cremo Spice and Black Vanilla, Prada Black, something like that. Going to the next one. This one is probably my second favorite from the line. It used to be my favorite, but this is by Guerlain. It's L'Homme Idéal Extreme. L'Homme Idéal Extreme. It smells like L'Homme Idéal, which is kind of like that almond and tonka mixture where you get a little bit of powder. It also has this kind of like luxury facet to the entire line. The way that the almond comes across, it has this luxury facet to it. So you mix that DNA, and with the EDP you get the cherry. With the L'Intense, which is my favorite, you get the incense and a bit more of a freshness. With this one, you mix it together with plum and tobacco. And so with that, you would think, okay, yeah, that makes sense as to why it's the best for the winter. And so if you're looking for a L'Homme Idéal, if you're looking for something to wear in the winter that has this nice night out edge, but at the same time you can wear it at any time during the winter, especially when it's cold out, it really shines. You get some fruity aspects, a little bit masculine, but the entire line really does lean unisex, leaning masculine. But the plum in this is beautiful. The tobacco and everything is blended very, very nicely. It's not a dry pipe tobacco. It's more of a moist tobacco. But that's L'Homme Idéal Extreme. Very good fragrance. Again, I'm not spending too much time on all of these. No point. Going to the next one, this is discontinued. You can find it for under $100, though. If you like coffee in your fragrances, look no further than Polo Red Extreme. Polo Red Extreme. I have a big one, but it's still in the packaging. So it's the cranberry and coffee, but you just amp the coffee to 100. It's a coffee-heavy version of Polo Red that does have that fruity backbone, a little bit of the blood orange, and so it really is probably the best Polo Red. And the way that the coffee comes across, it's very noticeable. So I would recommend, if you're trying to figure out what the best Polo Red in the line is, it's either this or the Intense. It depends on, do you want the extra fruitiness from the cranberry, or do you want the extra coffee? Because in Polo Red Intense, it dials down the coffee while keeping it there, dials up and amps up the cranberry. And then in this one, it amps up the coffee, dials down the cranberry. That's really the only difference between the two. Smell very similar, but this one is very, very nice. It has that nice roasted creamy coffee and a little bit of vanilla. But that is Polo Red Extreme, one of the best coffee fragrances, especially designers, and I can't believe they discontinued it. And then going into the last one, this one can be worn in warmer months, but because of the fact of its ambery vanilla accord, compared to all the other ginger fragrances out there, I find myself wanting to wear this in the cooler weather. People can correct me, that's fine. If you like to wear it in the spring and summer, so do I. But I like to wear this in the cooler months, and because of the effervescent aspect of it, it does remind me almost of like a lemon ginger champagne. This is Ingenious Ginger by Goldfield and Banks. It's just a beautiful semi-gourmand. It smells like you're pouring ginger ale on top of like a lemon pound cake. That is what it smells like, with this kind of encompassed by amber, which is kind of like a sweet and resinous, almost vanillic smell in the background. But Ingenious Ginger, it smells like the Suspiro Vibratos and Bulgari Tigers of the world. If you added that kind of ambery, semi-gourmand facet to it. And so I don't understand whenever I tell people I like wearing this in the cooler months, I don't know why people get confused by that, because it's literally those fragrances that I mentioned, more gourmand and with a sweeter take to it, that have like an effervescent aspect and a little bit of like a vanillic amber underneath it. Like, why wouldn't I wear that during the cooler months? I can wear it during the warmer months. It fits perfect, but during the cooler months, it's great. Yeah, smells like, again, like a lemon ginger champagne. That's what it smells like. It's not alcoholic or anything like that. It doesn't smell like that, but it's like ginger ale on top of a lemon pound cake. So that is Ingenious Ginger, one of the better fragrances that I have smelled in such a long time. It's becoming one of my top 10 fragrances, but that is Ingenious Ginger. Let me know again some of your favorite fragrances and what fragrance you're going to be wearing for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and happy holidays to all of you guys. I will be putting out a video again tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are safe, you have some fun, and again, I'll be back with another one. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. Peace.